Throw the ball, let the games commence. From the sideline to the pitch, feel the suspense. Tactics, passion, the fans in a trance. We're here to discuss, give every team a chance. Strap in tight, let the whistle blow. For every win or loss, we'll let you know. This is the All Sports Podcast, feel the thrill. From every tackle, every shot, we got the skill. In the world of football, we're taking the stage. So plug in your headphones, turn the page.
Yo, what is good, everybody? This is Alejandro Rodriguez, and welcome back to the NFL segment of the All Sports Podcast. This here is episode 4, part 2, Sunday Night Football. Yeah, here we go. All right, guys, let's dive into it. As we've been doing the past couple of weeks, we've been highlighting 3 teams on Sunday night, and now let's get into week 4. First game I'm going to talk about is the San Francisco 49ers taking on the New England Patriots. The Niners did beat the Patriots 30-13 with a bunch of key plays basically sealing the deal for San Francisco to win. First off, we got to give our props to Fred Warner, who had a pick six to basically seal the game to get San Fran their second win of the season. The defense basically was all over this game. The defense alone from San Francisco delivered 6 sacks, plus the 1 touchdown that I just mentioned from Fred Warner, in their first game since losing their star player, Javon Hargrave, to a potential season-ending injury. On the offensive side, one of the key highlights was Jordan Mason, who has rushed for 123 yards, capping off his third 100-yard rushing game in 4 weeks. Brock Purdy had several deep passes on the day for San Francisco, basically throwing around 288 yards in total, with his sole throwing touchdown to his tight end, George Kittle. Now, on the New England side, Jacob B. Brissett went 19 for 32 for a total of 168 yards. However, he was sacked 6 times for total loss of 25 yards. New England has been held under 150 yards passing in each of their first 4 games of the season for the first time since 1971. That is a very crucial stat to talk about because, you spent all this time winning championships with Brady, with Belichick, and now, you've gone for the first time since 1971. This is a very long time. You are held under 150 passing yards. That's insane. This game was a much-needed win for the San Francisco 49ers. They lost Christian McCaffrey. They lost Deebo Samuels. Losing Javon Hargrave. The injury bug has plagued this NFL season, and none more, arguably, than the San Francisco 49ers. Watching Brock Purdy not capitalize on many of these deep passes, is very odd since he's been pretty much a breakout star since he took over the starting quarterback role for San Francisco. However, I did think this game kind of was a strive in the right direction in regards of, putting the faith in himself to actually throw those deep passes. And, with them hosting the Arizona Cardinals in week 5, it is going to be very interesting to see how he handles a defense like that, especially with the fact that, George Kittle has had a very slow start to the season. But, hopes are high. Fred Warner basically is just an absolute monster. So, getting that pick six to basically seal the game was just absolutely insane. That was a diving interception, I believe. Yeah, the pass was thrown, and that was just absolutely insane of a catch. Just the awareness to be able to throw your body and literally catch it basically like an inch off the ground is just absolutely fantastic to watch. You got to love defensive players that take on that type of extra responsibility. You know, the On the New England side, they do host the Dolphins in Week 5. The Dolphins themselves have not been doing well, especially with the loss of Tua. We are probably going to be seeing a lot less of a impact coming from the wide receiving core, simply because of the fact that most defenses are now been targeting the wide receivers as well as the running back. Achane, even though he's been doing really well in the past couple of weeks, with a defense like New England, you also kind of see the bright lights that's been going on with them. So we'll see how they handle the Dolphins in Week 5. So Patriots fans, what do you think? You took on another loss. Are we upset that Jacoby Brissett is still doing what he's doing in the sense of not being able to throw past 150 yards in the air? Are we upset that Drake May hasn't been given a fair chance to actually come in and see what he can do? Leave your comments in the X and in the comments down below. On X, the handle is NFL on X _. Again, that's NFL on X _. Leave your thoughts and comments, and I would love to start up a dialogue with y'all. And 49ers fans, how do you feel? You were able to secure a second win on the season. You do play the Cardinals next week. And, with how well your defense has played in this game, how are we feeling going into Week 5? Because now, you should be going into the rolling the ball, so to speak, with getting your defensive turning into offense. So what are we thinking about? Please let me know down in the X. All right, next game we're going to jump into is the Pittsburgh Steelers against the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts did squeeze out a win, 27-24. Anthony Richardson did leave the game twice in the span of 4 plays. The first time he left, it was initially based off of a big hit that he took on his right hip. That kind of made him, groggy a little bit to where they had to check on him on the sidelines. And then when he went back in, he unfortunately had a hit to the head, which was pretty hard from if you look at the highlights. And ironically enough, both of these hits were on designated run plays for Richardson. After going to the locker room, by the time he came out and headed back to the sideline, it was already deemed that he wasn't going to be returning. So, who enters the game? 39-year-old Joe Flacco. And Joe Flacco did not disappoint. He threw for 2 touchdowns, and the Colts, got a much-needed stop in the final minute of the game to basically beat out the previously unbeaten Pittsburgh Steelers. Jonathan Taylor did have 1 rushing touchdown, with Josh Downs and Drew Ogletree receiving 1 touchdown each from Joe Flacco. And watching Joe Flacco come in and still do what he can do is just absolutely insane. Joe Flacco, again, another quarterback, veteran quarterback, almost 40 years old, is doing things that most of these young players obviously wish they could do, but obviously they're all young, so these greatness plays coming from these veteran quarterbacks all come with time. It was just great to watch him play football, man. Like, it's been a while since I personally have watched Joe Flacco play a football game. So, watching these highlights and watching him do what he did, getting the Colts that win, it was really great to see watching him on the field. On the other end of things, Justin Fields did throw for 312 yards and ran for 55 yards, but unfortunately he was sacked 4 times and he did lose a fumble, one of 2 Pittsburgh turnovers on the day. George Pickens did finish the game with 113 yards on 7 catches. He was the other Pittsburgh turnover as a result of a fumble. Even though Justin Fields did play very well, he ran for 2 second-half touchdowns, and he did throw 1 8-yard touchdown to Pat Freiermuth. I hope I'm pronouncing that name correctly. If not, please correct me. Basically, with just under 4 minutes into the game, I believe. Yeah, that was just around, at the end of the game. Justin Fields doing his thing with Russell Wilson being out again. you are starting to see a trend with the fact that how much more confident Justin Fields has been since taking over. Obviously, that is with the knowledge being given to him by Russell Wilson. And, it's great watching young quarterbacks taking the time to learn these important lessons from these veterans, because if I had the ability to pick the mind of Russell Wilson, I would be taking that knowledge to the bank, because it's absolutely fantastic the fact that these two quarterbacks get to practice together and obviously work together in a situation where, it basically got them an undefeated season so far up until today, of course. The Steelers do host the Cowboys in Week 5, with the Cowboys losing out on two of their most significant defensive players. We will see how Justin Fields and the offense takes care of Dallas. Or will Dallas still come out on top? I guess we'll just have to see going into Week 5. The Colts play the Jaguars in the Jaguars. The Jaguars are still, unfortunately, are winless. So let's see how if Anthony Richardson is able to come back. To my knowledge, he has not received the concussion. So let's see if he'll be able to gear up and suit up for Week 5. And we'll just see. If not, we'll see how Joe Flacco does with the holding the reins again. Colts fans, how are we feeling? I know we just lost Anthony Richardson in this game, but hopefully he comes back, to be able to play in Week 5 against the Jaguars. What did we think of Joe Flacco? It has been a while since some of us have seen him play, but the fact that he was able to come in and basically do what he needed to do to win this game, even though it was by a very small margin, he got you guys the win. Let me know in the X and let's get a conversation going. And Steelers fans, even though this is the first loss of the season, how have we been feeling about Justin Fields? He has been playing incredibly well, and even though we have to look away from the 4 sacks and the lost fumble, how are we feeling with Justin being comfortable, behind that offensive line? You guys are, again, like I mentioned, playing the Cowboys next week. So with no Micah Parsons and no DeMarcus Lawrence, do you think Justin should be able to grab the reins better and just, explode for another big throwing yards like he did in this game? And who knows? Do you think he can go for another rushing touchdown or 2? Let me know down in the comments. Alrighty, now we're just going to gear up for the last game that we're focusing on. Is the Los Angeles Rams against the Chicago Bears. The Bears. The Bears did win 24-18. Caleb Williams threw for 157 yards and a touchdown after setting the Bears' rookie record for passing for 363 yards on 52 attempts in the loss to the Colts, ironically enough, last week. He went on to say that this performance was a step forward for him. So it's very good to see a young quarterback, acknowledging the mishaps that he has had and proceeding just to take the next step forward. DeAndre Swift had his best game since signing with the Bears back in March. The former Pro Bowler who played for the Eagles last season broke off a 36-yard touchdown that made it 24-15 in the fourth quarter. He finished with 16 rushes on 93 yards for the day and also had 7 catches for 72 yards. That is by far one of the best games I've seen DeAndre Swift play since he played in Philly. I mean, watching him take on this new quarterback, a young rookie quarterback, even though he is a former number 1 overall pick, and basically saying, hey, man, if you need me, I got you. This is what we're going to do. And basically allowing him to give his expertise on being a vet, to the young rookie quarterback, and, just showing him, hey, man, we trust you. We trust you here in Chicago. You're going to lead us to the promised land one day with that hope, and I want to be there when that happens. So good on Swift to, back his quarterback up, and good thing on Caleb Williams for understanding where he's at. He's a young quarterback, rookie quarterback, and he just wants to do the necessary things he needs to do to win games. All right, let's move over to the Rams. Matthew Stafford, congratulations to you, sir. You moved ahead of Eli Manning for 10th on the NFL's all-time passing list. now totaling 57,025 yards. The two-time Pro Bowler completed 20 of 29 passes, totaling out to 224 yards on the day. However, he did throw a late-game interception on first down, which kind of sealed the game for them. The Rams, unfortunately, also have had trouble finishing drives with just one touchdown in 4 trips inside the red zone, which is very unlike the Rams. However, most of their offense has been sidelined with injury, with the loss of Cooper Kupp, who had an ankle injury, and Puka Nacua with a knee injury. However, Tutu Atwell did have 82 yards receiving, and Karen Williams ran for 94 yards with that one touchdown. So watching the young guys coming in with their vets getting hurt is a good sign. However, this type of, gameplay by the Rams needs to get fixed in order to, turn the tables and get them into the positive winning column. The Rams do host the Green Bay Packers next Sunday, and that's always a very interesting matchup. Even though Jordan Love may not be playing at the making of this recording, the Jordan Love situation with his injury, it's been tossed up that he may play or he may not play. Unfortunately, it seems like it's looking like he's not going to play. So I'm sorry for that, Packers fans. We'll see how you guys do. I mean, with Atwell doing that well and also Karen Williams running for that yardage, I think you guys may have a good chance. But let's see, hit me up in the comments and let's have a conversation like this. Chicago fans, how do we feel? Your rookie quarterback has acknowledged that, things have not gone his way, but he thinks that this game is a positive step forward. How do we feel about his development so far as a Chicago Bear? How do we feel about that DeAndre Swift is now kind of turning the page and looking like he was when he played in Philly? You guys do host the Carolina Panthers next week. And, Panthers defense has had its ups and downs, but all in all, it's still a good matchup for the Bears. So let's see. I think you guys, made it big with getting Caleb Williams. And I think him understanding that he's a rookie and that it'll take time for him to get better is definitely a great step in the right direction. But, leave your thoughts and your comments down below. All right, everybody. It has been a pleasure talking to you all about the Sunday game highlights for this week, for week 4. I cannot wait to talk to you all in week 5. Hit us up on the X, on NFL on X _. Again, that's NFL on X _. The podcast X page is allsports _pod. Again, that's allsports _pod. And I cannot wait to talk to you all when week 5 concludes. See you next week.